Right now, millions of Americans are about to miss their very first full paycheck. This is going to hurt. But at the same time, the White House is warning that this government shutdown could lead to a holiday travel meltdown. But what exactly do they mean? Well, here's what I can tell you. We already know that airports are seeing significant delays, some of which are actually pushing travel back days. We're also seeing that air traffic controllers and TSA agents are trying to call out. They can't come in for whatever reason, and yet they're being told, sorry, you have to. You have no other choice. I want to play something for you. Listen to this right here.
This morning, the government shutdown causing air traffic delays across the country. Air traffic controller staffing issues leading to delays at a number of airports overnight, according to the FAA. From the East Coast, including Newark and Philadelphia, to Atlanta, to Chicago, to Dallas. During the government shutdown, air traffic controllers considered essential workers have been working without pay. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says some are working 6 days a week and 50 plus hours.
50 plus hours, 6 days a week, and they're being told they cannot take a day off. There's not enough workers because those workers right there are deemed essential, meaning they have to come into work. But the concern is that come this holiday season, many of these workers are going to be calling out sick because they don't want to work for Thanksgiving. They don't want to work for Black Friday. They don't want to work for Christmas Eve and Christmas and New Year's Eve and New Year's. If the United States government continues to be shut down over the course of November, according to the White House, this would be a significant blow. I want to read something to you. Look at this. It says right here, the Trump administration and Republican leaders in Congress on Thursday warned that flight disruptions will increase as a government shutdown enters its 23rd day and the controllers miss their first full paycheck. Now, we're actually on day 25 today. It does say some 13,000 air traffic controllers and about 50,000 Transportation Security Administration officers must work without pay during the government shutdown. Controllers will miss their first full paycheck on Tuesday. That's coming up in just 3 days. Obviously, that's going to be a huge hit. But listen to this right here. It says, we fear there will be significant flight delays, disruptions and cancellations in major airports across the country this holiday season. It says if Democrats continue to shut down the government, they will also be shutting down American air travel. Not only are we going to see delays in airports, we are likely going to see more people are going to stop their flights. They're going to pretty much just change their plans. They do not want to go to an airport because everybody is concerned. I was reading a survey from just the other day, and according to this surveyed like 1,500 people, they asked all these people, are they planning on going on a trip for the holiday season? And about 90% said no, that their biggest concern is going to an airport and getting delayed. They don't want that. I had a friend that actually canceled his flight. Canceled his flight because he was concerned about a delay. Well, the other group that he was going to go with, they didn't cancel. But guess what happened? It was such a big delay, it pushed them back about, 12 to 14 hours. They decided it wasn't worth it, and they canceled their entire trip at that point. That's kind of where we're at. I want to show you something. Because it's not just the air traffic controllers, it's not just the TSA agents that are going to feel the effects. This government shutdown is going to cripple the U.S. economy. We are struggling at this time. Look at this right here. It says, missed paychecks, canceled infrastructure projects, and mass firings haven't yet convinced congressional Democrats to change their government shutdown stance, but they are now facing down another pressure point threatening a program they've long championed benefited millions of Americans. That's SNAP benefits. Says the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which helps feed more than 40 million people, will start to run out of funds November 1st. Here's the thing. It's not starting to run out of funds. It has already run out of funds. It doesn't have enough to continue to pay everybody. Look at this. It says at least 25 states plan to cut off benefits starting on that date, including California, the overwhelmingly Democratic state with 4.5 million SNAP recipients. So 25 states have already decided they are not going to pay out any benefits. Here's what you need to know. SNAP benefits, even though it's a federally funded program, the states can get involved and they can pay it on their own. Some states are going to attempt to do this, but they may not be able to pay the full 100% benefit amount for that month. Let's say this happens. Let's say you don't get your normal $500 a month for SNAP benefits. Maybe you only get, $200 or $150. That's going to be difficult, especially when we're coming up on Thanksgiving. We're coming up on Christmas, where these are major holidays where people spend a lot more on food. Based off a recent survey I was reading, Americans expect to pay almost 200% of their normal monthly food budget during these months, simply because they are planning on having a turkey, a ham, and apple pie, and everything else that comes along with these holidays. Interesting. This article goes on to say, the food aid cliff has largely flown under the radar as Democrats focus on another November 1st development, the launch of open enrollment for Affordable Care Act insurance plans in most states. Yeah, that's a big one, because that right there is what they plan on losing, or the expectation is they're going to lose it because it's not going to be renewed come January 1st. It says Democrats believe massive premium hikes prompted by the expiration of key federal subsidies will compel Republicans to relent and negotiate an extension at that time. Possibly. It's possible. But here's the thing. The Trump administration has made it very clear. They're not going to negotiate until the federal government is open. So Democrats have to open the federal government first, and then Republicans will negotiate. Well, here's where things kind of hit Democrats the wrong way. Is Democrats believe that the Trump administration would not allow military personnel to go another 2 weeks without pay. Keep in mind they get paid on the 1st and the 15th of every month. Well, they already got paid on the 15th, and I want to show you something, okay? Look at this right here. I want to show you this right here. Look at this. It says, while large and unusual, the gift amounts to a small contribution towards the billions needed to cover service members' paychecks. The Trump administration told Congress last week that it used $6.5 billion to make payroll. Okay, well, that's great. They don't have that money, though. But look at this. It says the Pentagon accepts a $130 million donation to help pay the military during the government shutdown. So yes, it's a substantial donation, but it's a far cry from the $6.5 billion needed to actually make the payment to 100% of military personnel. And it also, that includes, the $6.5 billion also includes, it's not just their wages, but it's also benefits as well. I want to play this clip where President Trump announced it. Listen to this.
They're going to go without their first full paychecks, federal workers.
By the way, a friend of mine, talking about donors, a friend of mine, a man that's great. I'm not going to use his name unless he lets me do it. Susie can tell you about this, but he called us the other day and he said, I'd like to contribute any shortfall you have because of the Democrat shutdown. I'd like to personally contribute any shortfall you have with the military, because I love the military and I love the country, and any shortfall, if there's a shortfall, I'll contribute it. And today he sent us a check for $130 million. I would love to tell you he doesn't really want the recognition, if you want to know the truth, but he gave us a check for $130 million, which was sort of a shortfall, yeah.
$130 million is what an anonymous donor just gave the Trump administration. and said he wanted that earmarked for military pay. Okay, that right there is a kick that Democrats didn't want. They didn't need it. Okay, they did not want that because that actually puts more pressure on Democrats to do something. Because now if the Trump administration starts finding ways around using federal funds, and now they start accepting donations on behalf of the U.S. military, that's huge. Because again, Democrats are still getting their priorities funded, or Republicans are. Democrats are now being hurt. But like many Democrats are saying, is that they're waiting until November 1st. That's when they think everything's really going to hit the fan. Now, it's either going to go one of two ways. That Democrats believe that what they're doing and waiting will eventually lead to some type of negotiation. But based off what we're hearing, Republicans do have a lot more going in their way, in their favor. And so right now, we could see the government shutdown last, past November 1st. Originally, I was saying November 1st is likely going to be that deadline, and most believe that they would receive or get some type of negotiation and open up the federal government before that. However, and this is the problem, there's going to be delays. Even if the federal government is opened on November 1st, there will still be delays. Air traffic controllers, TSA agents, right? They're going to come into work. They're going to do their jobs. The problem is some are going to be overworked, tired, and want to take time off. That's where the White House is saying we are likely going to see chaos come this holiday traveling season. So, just wanted to share that with you. But if you do plan on traveling, let me know down in the comment section below. What airport do you plan on traveling out of? Because some airports are having more problems than others. So, again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.